Woo! Well, this happened last time though, didn't it? So how long do we wait? How long do we wait until we see that people are here or not? It's definitely the right stream, but is it the right... no, it's definitely the right stream. Is it that I am actually broadcasting to the people? Oh, I'm so shocked. I don't know what to do. All the times I normally talk to myself and nobody's there. I really need to make sure and pay great care to what I actually say in future. So, that's wonderful. Now let's have a look and see who's in. Peachy, either you're in or you're out. You're not shaking all about. You do the hokey cokey and you turn around. That's what it's all about. Oh, okie dokie dokie. Oh, okie dokie dokie. Oh, okie dokie dokie. Left paw, right paw, rah, rah, rah. You do the left leg in, the right leg out. You do the hokey cokey and you don't know all the words. Oh, I'm a cat. How am I going to know the words? It's not me singing. Hello, Peachy. Say hello to all your fans. Hello. Don't sniff my nose in public. That's just weird. Hi, everybody. So, anyway, let's start scrolling down because my chat has stalled, which is lovely. So, hi, Claire. Hi, Susan. Hi, Susan. Hi, Susan. Hi, Catherine. Hi, Emma. Hi, Ginny. This is your first try at TV. Hello, Leslie. Hello, Kathy. Oh, Jamie, I did hope you were there. The chat wasn't working. Go on, then. Go away. Oh, she's so unsociable. Oh, now I've got a hat in my mouth. It always happens. Hello, M. Catherine Norman. Does the M stand for Madame? Hi, Michaela. Is it cold indoors? I'll tell you why I'm wearing a hat in a minute. Hello, Margaret. Ah, hello, Sue. Right. So, why am I wearing a... Hello, Rosie. Hello. So, why am I wearing a hat? Yes, it's freezing. Because in time-honoured tradition, I am in the spare room. Huzzah! And as you will know from previous tours, is that when I finish work, because I work from home, I will turn off the radiator, which is splendid, not a problem. However, one had forgotten that was one doing a tour from one's home, and it is about 4 degrees outside, and therefore it was jolly cold. So I have my sheepy heat pad here, which is lovely, microwavable. There is somebody under the blanket halfway through, and what it's going to do is rise up halfway through the tour and scare you all to death. So I thought what I'll do is just leave my hat on for a little bit, because they say you lose a lot of heat out your head, although that might be out my mouth, and wait for me to warm up a bit, because otherwise I'm going to be so jolly cold. My niece did that in the Natural History Museum yesterday. I was looking at the dinosaur, and suddenly this ogre came up behind me and went, "Grr!" And I went, "Grr!" I didn't actually make the noise, but I probably pulled that face. And I was like, oh, goodness gracious me. Oh, and the other reason is, well, I've got a scarf here too. The other reason is it's my new hat. So as you all know, I have a Christmas pudding head hat, but looks like a cat, doesn't it? But I decided that after New Year, really, I need to wear perhaps a winter hat that isn't a Christmas pudding hat, so I can have the Christmas pudding hat on the run up to Christmas. And so my sister bought me this. The only thing is, I mean, this is talking about exciting for virtual tours. This is the pre-tour chat, by the way. Hello, Tishaloo. Is that, you know, sometimes you have that fleecy, nice lining. this doesn't have that, and it's a little bit itchy. So, but it does have a fake fur pom-pom on, which is rather lush. So how is everybody? Yeah, this has got a life of its own. It's like a snake. I should probably then get over hot, and I'll be like, oh, this is ridiculous, take all my clothes off. Obviously not all my clothes. Nobody's prepared for that. Anyway, so maybe that'll do with the hat, because I can almost feel like I do love a pom-pom. And I called a cat pom-pom, didn't I? Oh, Claire's jet lagged, yeah, because she travelled from Cornwall back to Cardiff today. So, yeah, I mean, the Cornwallese do believe it's a different country. So, and then Wales, of course, is a different country. So, totes lots of different countries and jet lagged. Rosie, you'd be cool with that, wouldn't you? Is that a snowman halfway up my wall? There is. He sits there all the jolly time. Because, well, I've got nowhere else for him to go. So he sits there and he, yes, he watches proceedings. And as again, before I explained last time, the reason why there are blankets covering stuff behind me is because I chuck stuff on there's an ottoman behind me, which means I can't reverse very far back, which is like always, and, yeah, chuck stuff on it. Slightly lower, because I changed the bed today, so removed the fleecy sheet, which they're a great idea, but there's so much space. These fleecy sheets and these fleecy bedclothes and everything else. It's like, God, I need a new house just to hold all of these blankets. The Cornish indeed are legally a national minority, like the Welsh. So could you only, hello Kirsty, could you only move somewhere which is a minority? Hello, Michael. How are you? Am I hiding cats under blankets? No, they're not really allowed in here, Seth. Hello. Basically, this is a cat-free zone, which is why those who didn't join from the start have missed Peachy coming in, because Peachy is law unto herself. And basically, yes, she just comes and goes, and I just let her kind of come and go. I mean, Milo, it's a definite no, because he pees on things, so it's like, that's totally not happening. And to be honest, none of the others actually ever try and get in, I think. Oh, Apollo wandered in once and went, what is this? I'm not interested, and went out again. I think I've got a little bit of hat hair just above where the Streamlabs banner is. I could see my hair had grown a life of its own. Yeah, if anybody finds a good broom, one that actually is still got a good safety record, let me know, because obviously we'll have an October Halloween tour, no doubt. And last time, as you know, I ended up crashing. Hey, Nancy, how are you? How is it? It's jolly cold today. I went out to Sainsbury's, as is the height of my excitement. Oh, I'll tell you my story. Oh my goodness gracious. I've decided I cannot go anywhere without causing absolute chaos. So I went to Sainsbury's and basically I went to the self-service till, which I much prefer, and somebody had left 5 bananas on there in a bunch, and I was like, oh, people are so lazy. And I was like, well, okay, actually quite fancy a couple of bananas. They weren't green, they weren't yellow, they were slightly, but that's fine as long as I remember to eat them, because that's the other thing, keep them until they're kind of like brown and force yourself to eat it, don't waste food. So I took 2 off. And it was the last of my purchases, and I weighed them, and they came to £1.29, and I was like, that's a little bit ridiculous, isn't it, really? Because if you buy bananas separately, they're about 18, 19, 20p each. That would make a total of 40p. And I looked down, and oh, goodness gracious. But, of course, my handbag was on the scales, which it had been for the entire shopping. Put in your basket. I was like, oh, that's so embarrassing. So then, of course, I have to wait for somebody to come. Hello, Wendy Woo. And so somebody comes, and it took forever, and I'm standing there. Literally, I'm the only one in this self-service suddenly. Standing there going, oh, this is just quite frankly ridiculous. And along she came, and she literally said nothing except for 3 words at the end. So she stood there and I said, hi. I said, really sorry. I said, but somebody left their bananas. I fancied 2, put them on, handbag on the scales. Could you, remove? So she did all this by, tapping their admin credentials. And I'm like, do you not speak? Is there a reason I have offended you with your silence? And then she said, it's all done. And of course, part of me, the last year me wanted to say, well, don't bother speaking to me, or great customer service. But of course, I would not be so churlish or so rude. I was just like, thanks. And then I suddenly thought, she probably didn't believe my just found these bananas story. She might have thought that actually I had actually weighed all the bananas and then decided I didn't want to pay that much on bananas. But then I think, even still, surely she should have known that 5 bananas wouldn't come to £1.29p. Hello, pizzazz. So all in all, very much a banana story. And just to jazz it up a little bit, I've put the bananas in the fridge so they don't go mouldy, not mouldy, brown. Hi, Dawn. So there you are. Hi. Well, normally they do, Janie. Normally you have a lovely chat. I mean, you know me, I like to chat to anybody. Hello, yes, rabbit, rabbit, rabbit. And the lady in my store who does the free sample of stuff that really you're never going to buy, but you're like, oh, I wouldn't mind a drink of that, or a chew of that. Not like a chew of it, like, and put it back, an actual sample. And she's 80. I nearly fell off my legs because I was standing. She's 80 and I was like, you're like a marvel, an absolute marvel. I mean, I might have exaggerated. I know it was over 70. But I think it was 80. But anyway, she's fabulous. She's a lovely lady and she enjoys doing it. And I'm like, why not? Why not if you enjoy standing there and, selling stuff? I have to confess, I don't think I've ever bought anything from these sample places. Get them out of the fridge, put some foil over the end, slows ripening down. Do you know what? You can actually get these banana bags. Buy banana bags, and what my sister realised is they're actually just a jiffy bag. And that slows down ripening as well. And it goes in the fridge, I think. So the banana bag goes in not the banana gag. Have you ever seen a banana gag? Don't talk. And their arms and legs tied up. It's absolutely terrible. Yeah, so there we are. We've only got 2 minutes till we start our New Year's resolutions, of which will be never lean on a self-service weighing scales. Janie's bananas are in the fridge. We're going to have a banana off. We're going to have outrage. This is what happens, you see. We're now going to have the group completely split. Some people are going to go, oh, absolutely love a cooled banana. And the others are going to go, it's outrageous and should be banned. Susan has got Hessian vegetable bags but keeps forgetting to use them. Well, they're probably about as effective as something that isn't effective if you never use them. Crackerjack, that's probably a very UK reference, Wendy. I'm slightly worried now at the standard of the chat comments because Tish would never turn down a hot banana. Oh, Emma's gone anti-banana. Wendy wants to make a banana cake. Oh, anybody else with any bananas? Oh, I did see something the other day that banana skins, I think you can put somewhere, maybe the garden. Well, Ruth, it depends. We've got 1 minute to go. You've missed all the banana conversation. Bob the banana, yes, of course. Well, no, it can't be Bob the banana because Emma doesn't like bananas and therefore she would never name them. I think they said to put something... Boil. No, it was boil the banana skin. And then you can pour the banana water onto something. Anybody? Right, anyway, well, there you are. Thank goodness me. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Thank. It is 7 o'clock, which means we are all ready to run. Did I say hello, Ruth? Did I say hello? Anyway, if I didn't, hello. And if I did, well, you've been blessed with 2 hellos. So, have I said hello to you again since? No. Happy New Year, which seems to be one of those phrases that keeps coming. You'll be in sort of towards the second half of January and somebody will still be saying, is it too late to say Happy New Year? And you're like, yes, it is too late to say Happy New Year. I think probably the 1st to the 3rd of January, maybe to push the first week, but I think then it's just January. So I've done a little bit of research about New Year's resolutions, as you know I like to do. Then I've tried to make it into a very productive session for us all, except for those that don't want to bother, and you can just listen. And really, the tour is a little bit dependent on your input. So let's see how it goes, and I'll blame you then if it's rubbish. Sounds good to me. 4,000 years ago, the ancient Babylonians set New Year pledges. Hello, lethargy. So instead of New Year's resolutions, they called them pledges, which is actually now, I think, a furniture polish. Now, their New Year, and this gets a little bit complicated, their New Year began in mid-March when the crops were being planted. Makes sense. New Year, fresh start. Now, their pledges were linked to religion, mythology, power, social, and money. They were also the first recorded civilization to hold celebrations for the New Year. Doesn't mean it didn't happen beforehand. The dinosaurs could have been celebrating New Year for all we know about, but we don't speak dino, and they didn't write anything down. So, quite frankly, did it happen? We'll never know. Now, they made promises to repay their debts in the year ahead, which quite frankly could never happen now, what with mortgages, etc. And they believed if they fulfilled their pledges, the gods would look favourably upon them. Now, in ancient Rome, so we're speeding through time, but still not that recent, New Year was celebrated on March the 15th, and that's the Ides of March. And this was the time that it was when the most important Roman officials took office. Now, in 46 BC, before Christ, which is what it's commonly known, Julius Caesar introduced the Julian calendar. And January the 1st started the new year. Now, this was to honour the Roman god Janus. And Janus has 2 faces, and if you Google, you can see one face looking that way and one face looking that way. So he was looking back on the previous year and looking forward to the new year. And also he had a bit of whiplash, bless him, poor little god. Now, he protected doors, archways, thresholds, and transitions into new beginnings. So quite a nice little Roman god, if I say. Now, Romans would offer Janus sacrifices and make pledges. So I'm sure he enjoyed those. Now, in the Middle Ages, we're speeding much, much closer now. We're talking about 500 to 1500 AD. Knights pledged their allegiance and renewed their vows to chivalry and knightly valour. When I read it, I kind of read it as knightly velour, and then I realised that probably wasn't a thing in the Middle Ages. Velour, probably not a thing knights would wear. Probably doesn't the same image. Now, the Julian calendar had a timing issue. There was an error, it's easy mistake and a maker. There was an error in leap years and 11 minutes of a year was off. Now, that meant by the year 1000, they had 7 extra days. So, to resolve this, Pope Gregory the 13th, unlucky for some, introduced the Gregorian calendar in 1582, and the new year went back to January the 1st. Now, England and its colonies didn't follow the Pope, of course. We were Protestant. And so we didn't change until 1752, so nearly 200 years later. So as you can imagine, all the different countries were in different, not all of them, but they were in different time zones. Not time zones, that's now. They were in different dates. Now, in 1752, to make sure that it all matched, it meant that September the 2nd was followed by September the 14th, which lost 11 days. Which of course meant that if you were unlucky enough to have your birthday on September the 3rd until September the 13th, you lost your birthday that year. It also meant that you could have, say for example, twins born at midnight on the 2nd or 11:59, and then the second twin born the next day, they would somehow be born 11 days apart. And of course what it also meant is that if you reached your XX birthday, you actually had 11 days less. So you weren't really that age at all. So when you look back into family history and you look at how old they were, it gets very complicated. However, I would say if somebody said to you that they were born in September the 7th, 1752, I can tell you they are lying, because it never existed. I'm not sure, Mike, if they actually said they weren't a year older and they forgo their birthday for that year, or whether or not they all decided to have their birthday on September the 14th, and in which case it would be a very, very busy day for birthdays. Now, resolutions were now coming up, a common activity, and I think you're going to like this one. In 1671, the Scottish writer Anne Halkett wrote in her diary, "I will not offend anyone." I have a feeling that that resolution could not be upheld by anybody on this entire planet. Because I'm quite sure even if you don't mean to now, you will offend somebody somewhere, especially on social media. But I like the thought. And of course, some of you will be saying, why bother? Why bother with a New Year's resolution? If you think of it, it's like a clean slate. Almost like saying, last year went really badly, but this new year, it has so much to offer. But then how much do we base if something goes really bad in January? Well, that's it. The year's doomed. And then I have to wait to the next year. So I think there are different ways of looking at it. What it does mean is if you set resolutions, you can plan your future. Now, without goals, you can end up, and I read this, wasting your time, money and energy, which can lead you to feeling overwhelmed, unprepared for opportunities and dissatisfied. And I thought that really resonated with me. Not perhaps for New Year, but perhaps for a weekend when I don't have any plans. So if I don't have any plans, I have a lot to do. Always loads that I should be doing. I'm behind on everything. But if I don't sit there, if I don't sit there, that would be fine. If I don't actually have a plan of what I want to do and I haven't set my targets, then end up accomplishing nothing. I'm feeling even worse about myself because actually I've wasted that time when I could have done something. Or I'll have kind of the spend the morning not do anything, spend the afternoon not doing much, and then later on I'll go into this mad panic to get everything done. And the thing is, achieving targets makes you feel good. So today I set myself a target. I knew I had to go to the supermarket and I wanted to put a new duvet cover on, which is in exchange for a wok, as you do. My sister gave me a wok at Christmas, but it was far too heavy for me. So we took the wok back. I ended up buying a beautiful fleecy duvet cover, which is quite heavy, but I don't have to cook with it. And put it on the bed. And so far, there's these little embroidered stars on it. So far, Peachy has tried attacking the embroidered stars. I'll post a video on my group later, which is Leonie on tour. So I think I'm going to end up with ruined embroidered stars, which is fine because I'll be honest, I'm not really a star person anyway. But then when I went back in just to brush my hair before the tour, you wouldn't believe I actually brushed it. I saw this lump moving up the bed. And what Odessa had done is she'd slid underneath the duvet cover and was making her way up the sheet. And I went, no, 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 no. It's clean on, lift it up the corner, lift it up the cat, put her on the top. Attack the stars, that's the thing apparently. And then I came to do the tour. So I have no idea what it looked like. But when I'd actually changed the bed, I thought, felt better. Great, I've accomplished something. And actually what I should have done is I should have done it first thing this morning to have given me that kind of that positive energy for the rest of the day. So actually I'd have achieved maybe more or felt better about myself. And I also went to the supermarket. So that's two things. Now, new year, new you, new you. I'm now Scottish. A new you. Sorry, I got distracted by the word puppy. New year, new you. A new year, new start. However, anything. You can start. You don't need to. If you haven't done anything at New Year, it really doesn't matter. Because actually, you could be your new year, new you. You can use a different calendar. You can use your own. I'm going to use the Leonie calendar, which is actually the 8th of January. Now, just because I was distracted, is Daisy what you're calling the puppy, or do you have another puppy? See, this is why my tours don't go to plan. Now we've been distracted by puppies. So, if you're really thinking, okay, then fine. In time-honoured tradition, going back to the Babylonians, thinking about their goals and what they would want to achieve, completely different to what we would want to achieve now. So I guess they would be maybe, as they're saying, pay their debts. Maybe it would be bring the harvest in, feed the family. I don't know, I wasn't born then, so I couldn't tell you. But if you think now about the kinds of resolutions we'd look at, well, when you're looking at goals, there's a business kind of definition. They call them SMART targets. So they say they should be specific. So you should be able to actually hone down on what that target is. It should be measurable. Because if you can't measure it, how do you work out necessarily if you achieve the outcome? Should be achievable. So something that you can do. Should be relevant to you. So something that means something, not like I'm going to fly to the moon. And time-based. Now, I thought about this and I thought that's very business related. So I'm going to talk about the prick targets. And hopefully you really engage with this prick system. Because what does prick mean? What I mean is it's positive. So I want to feel great. I want to feel, oh my goodness, this is really something that is going to make a difference. It's the prick. I'll talk you through. So the first is a P, it's a positive. Whatever change you make sure it's going to be a positive. The R, it's got to be realistic. Again, no flying to the moon. I mean, I'm scared of heights. I don't know any astronauts. Fairly sure I wouldn't be very good in space. I'm not really great on the Earth, so going in space, that's not going to happen. So now I can see some conversations happening. So going back to our positive, so something that will mean a positive outcome. And part of that can be visualizing. And this might sound a bit new age, although I don't know if new age exists anymore because we're like so far forward than before, but actually closing our mind and visualizing it. And we'll go through this with some targets, but realistic, don't set something that so unlikely to happen you're going to feel rubbish about yourself because you never achieved it. So you have to gain something in the process. If you can make yourself a challenging target, what they call in the business a stretch target, but do it with milestones, increments, so actually you're achieving something along the way. Now, make it interesting. So that's the I. Interesting, Wendy Tish, that you said interesting because then I said interesting. How can you enjoy it? It's not just the outcome, but the journey. So make it interesting and creative. Think outside the box. Bucket list items, maybe. Or something really normal, but make it something that actually is a bit more interesting by the way you approach it. And we're going to go through these later. So start with a long list and find something worth doing. Now, the C is for committed. Stay the journey. And this is the hardest because sometimes it's very easy to say, I can't do it, I don't want to do it, and actually you've forgotten why you set it up for. Now, if you followed the first three, the pry, then that shouldn't be too hard. Willpower. And then, of course, the second C is calendar. And this, again, is all about time, so it can be measured. Now, you make it into bite-sized chunks, your milestones, you plan it. So, rather than just having an open-ended resolution, actually try to bring it down to something that you can actually put into times. And if it's milestones, that's fine, because you can be doing that over the different months. Now I'm going to take this off because I thought I wanted to show you that. Look, yeah, that's what I was aiming for. Let's put that up there and hope it doesn't fall down. So I'm going to go back to the prick method. But now we're going to talk about different ways that we could do resolutions for. So you could have your physical. So lose weight, stop smoking or stop vaping, get fit, get rid of dry skin. Maybe there's some really scaly toes that you need to deal with, that every year you go, I'm going to deal with them. We'll make it into a resolution. Maybe you've got dino feet. You might want to just tone up. You might want to get out more. Could be financial. So you might want to pay off some debts, consolidate your debt. You might want to save money, even if it's small. Maybe you're saving for something. You might decide that you want to earn some money. You might want to donate money. And you might want to think about where those donations go and how they can best be used. And you might want to look at perhaps your personal finances are in a mess and you need to set up some sort of filing system. And I don't mean that by sort of the metal filing cabinets. I mean something that works for you. It might be work. Maybe you've got a dreadful work-life balance. I mean, I know some of you are retired and therefore you have no work. But it might be that you're in a job that you hate, that you've hated for a while and it's draining your very soul. And you need to spend some time looking for what else you might want to do. And maybe it's a complete career change. Once when a job I'd gone for and was looking at possible redundancy, I remember the manager said to me, this is a chance for you to reevaluate what you want to do. You could be a trapeze artist. I mean, obviously I can't. You could be a writer. You could get into movies, and just, we're always saying, I can't do that. Actually, blast that all wide open and then look at what's left. Might be you just want to get some training. Maybe that would mean then that you're going to get a higher salary. And then, of course, we're looking at that emotional, which really applies in January. You might want to assess your friendships. Are your friends, and somebody has said to me that there are different levels. There are colleagues, there are acquaintances, there are friends, there are good friends, there are best friends. But what you also have is you have toxic friends. And sometimes it's identifying who those are and whether or not you need to keep them in your life. You might want to practice mindfulness. You might want to stop comparing. You might want to reduce how much time you spend on social media. Sometimes it's about identifying what you do enjoy, not just what you don't enjoy, and doing less of what you hate. Do more of what you love. Stop negativity and spread positivity, because we all, what's that expression that when you smile, it's contagious? And self-care. And it might be that you need to attack the backlog in your life in different ways. And that could be by, you've put on a lot of weight. You've made a lot of debt. You've got into an emotional rut. And the thing to remember is one step at a time. Rome wasn't built in a day, and the calendar wasn't that cracking. Try new things. Don't say no. Embrace the yes. Feel the fear and do it anyway. Help others, because by helping other people, often you can help yourself. Positive self-talk. How many times do you listen to your inner voice? Hello. And actually, you're being really negative to yourself. And would you speak to anybody else in that tone? Because the way I speak to myself, I insult myself all the time. Because I'm always putting myself down. And actually, can you change that? And throughout the process, acknowledge the progress that you've made. Even if it's small, it's incremental, it's a step. And of course, accept setbacks, because life never goes according to plan. And sometimes you might need to come up with a plan B, or a plan C, or a plan D. Life is not a dress rehearsal. And I think sometimes we need to remember to focus on the present. One of the things I do is when I retire, and what I'm trying to tell myself is stop waiting for that, do something now. So let's go back to the prick. And Casey won't know what we're talking about, and that's what happens when you join a tour late. So positive, okay. So choosing, I'm going to use an example for me. So one of the things I want to do is, I do want to lose weight. And sometimes when you say to people, I want to do this, and they'll go, you don't need to. And actually what it has to be is, it has to be for you. So the positive is, actually, I think it's going to make me feel better. And I think it'll make me feel better about myself. Is it realistic? Well, that very much depends on how much I'm going to set myself. So I've decided I'm going to set myself a half-stone target because I think that's achievable. I could lose more, but I think if I set myself more, and actually what's going to happen, I'm going to feel like I'm never going to reach it. And I know I can reset that target. Interesting. So how can I enjoy losing weight? Because losing weight is so boring and unpleasant. Well, what I'm going to try and do is actually look at nice foods that are low fat. So actually look at maybe mixing up salads that I like. So again, it's about thinking, okay then, rather than just saying you can't have your nice foods, I need to, you know, look at my diet. And then committed. Well, that's down to me to remain committed or not. And then obviously the calendar. Well, I think I should be able to do that in 6 months. I mean, ideally, I would say to myself, when I go away on holiday, I would like to have lost weight. But it's not going to happen. So I know then I'll just feel bad about myself. And because I feel bad about myself and negative about the fact that I can't make that target, I'm not going to meet the target. If I meet the target earlier, that's going to be fabulous. And so I could set my little milestones. So other ideas, you might want to learn new skills. You might want to try something new. You might want to look for free stuff online to upcycle. You might want to plant seeds and then see the flowers or the vegetable. You might want to try a new recipe. You might want to start a club. You might want to join a club. You might want to start it. You might want to reach out to an old friend. How many friends have you not spoken to in forever? And actually what we might say is, well, I never hear from anybody, but actually it's just as much us to reach out to them as well. You might want to learn a new language. I won't try because quite frankly with my memory, I will go to a country and forget what hello is within about 5 minutes despite learning it several times. That might be your thing. You might want to learn new DIY skills, which actually will save money. I'm not suggesting plastering. You might want to learn how to sew, how to knit, how to crochet. Whatever you choose to do, record your achievements so you can celebrate and share in your success. Put up reminders if you need them. So it's no good saying I'm going to do that. If I haven't written it down, I'll have forgotten. And all I need to do is put a post-it note up there, or a post-it note by the fridge. If you travel virtually, and why wouldn't you, you might want to research a new destination. But it's so important to focus on the future, not the past. Rather than looking at when it didn't work. And if you've decided something that works for you and somebody says to you, I wouldn't do it like that, I'd do it like this. That's when you have to have the confidence in yourself to say, I think this will work for me. So now I want to turn it round over to you. And this is the interactive part of the tour. There isn't a K, Tina. It's PRICC. So it is positive, realistic, interesting, committed, and calendar. I mean, I would never say that word. That would just be rude. And obviously I wouldn't have come up with some letters that would sound rude to keep your attention. And of course, as Dawn says, not everything's going to work for everybody. So that's why it absolutely has to be something tailored for you. This is your life. And sometimes we can be swayed by what other people are telling us and then fall off our path. And actually, maybe that's one of your New Year's resolutions, to be more confident in your own opinions and beliefs. Unless they're awful, obviously. So, what is it that you would like to do? Janie's goal is to drink more water and travel more, already have a few trips planned. Well, you've already got then your travel planned. So you've had your resolution, you've booked in some trips. Fantastic. Now, I know that some people I know have said they need to drink more water, and that what they've actually done is you can get these bottles, which are 2-litre bottles, and then they pour from those and they can actually tell how much they're drinking, which is fantastic. Except if you spill 2-litre bottle, that's a lot of water. Lethargy's resolution is to spend 30 minutes a day doing something arty. And that's great. Now, what will happen, Lethargy, if one day, because is that every day, what will you do if you don't spend those 30 minutes a day? And will you then say, it doesn't matter? And what will you do if you don't feel like you're enjoying it? And I think one of the things with resolutions is to be flexible. So actually, and that's what I said about the plan B, if Lethargy decides, actually, I don't feel like being arty. I've got artist block. Actually, that's fine. But what she can do is say over the year how many times she did art. And what was the purpose of doing the art? For pure enjoyment? Or was it to do something with the art? And that's the point, Lethargy. It's not the end of the world. It's your target, your decision making. So who else? Who else has got some resolutions that they might think? Mike doesn't make resolutions, but I have things I aim to do every day. So what you're doing is you're actually making plans. And to be honest, resolutions really are, it's a big word, but all it really means is that you're going to plan to do stuff for that year. And those things that you aim to do every day, Mike, what type of things are they? I like, put the bin out. And sometimes that's the point. Sometimes actually planning isn't about the most exciting super stuff. It's about the stuff that needs doing. And that's part obviously of the prick method, Mike. It's about realistic targets. Now I have I need to declutter, but I won't set myself that target because I know is not going to happen. Casey's resolution is to be kind to herself and to not say yes when she means no. And that's a really interesting one because I think sometimes we say yes when we want to say no because we care about somebody else. And I think that's important. But I think if somebody else is almost emotionally manipulating us to say yes, then that's actually damaging behaviour. So it's all about, maybe it's all about thinking first. And they say to say yes more. so that you accept more opportunities. And I think sometimes, Mike, you've fallen asleep in my tours before. Why stop now? I think sometimes that it can be, I'll be honest, Mike completely distracted me from what I was saying. It's about looking at what we want to do and fitting our world in around that. And sometimes we say no. We say yes, no. We say no because of fear. So we might get an invite and we're scared to go somewhere. And we say no. So we're closing off that opportunity. So one of the things I'm looking at the moment is actually going abroad on my own. And then I'm trying to balance that fear with what I want to achieve. So starting small. Mike says that there's too much pressure to put on people to achieve and be positive. I think the point is, I think we should know what makes us feel positive. And I think actually positivity is really important, and it can be really difficult sometimes to stay positive. So it's about identifying what we're going to get the most out. So sometimes it's about, on New Year's Day for the last 3 or 4 years, I've gone out for a walk. I've walked by the river. I've walked by the old hospital cemetery. And this year I walked by the not by the river again, but a different river. And I felt better for being out and about, but it's about summoning up that kind of oomph. And sometimes that's hard, but it's about taking small steps. And that's why I'm thinking with going abroad, as Ginny said, that she's gone out to Milan, met a couple of people, obviously other guides. I've actually been on group tours before. I went to India with a group tour in 2009. I went to China on a group tour with in 2007. But that's a long time ago, and you find that as the years pass, sometimes you become less bold. Is that the right word? And maybe you think about all the things that could go wrong rather than looking at the positives. So it's trying to get that balance. So what I'm looking to do is I'm going to have to push myself because it's what I want to do. But it's about maybe starting really small. And Dawn's saying it's the oomph she has trouble with. I don't have any. And it's interesting. I was walking up the stairs yesterday in London. I thought, isn't it interesting how your brain, you don't think about walking up the stairs. Just happens. Your legs just go up the stairs. And then you tell them to stop. And it's so ingrained. And actually, that's the thing sometimes with your oomph. I mean, I'm not sure how we spell oomph anymore, but sometimes it's just about not thinking about it, saying, I'm going to do it and do it, whether you've got that oomph or not. And I think the thing is about travelling as well is being on your own. And I'm part of a Facebook group that talks about solo travel. And some people are, I'm not sure I can leave the room. And actually, in a sense, or rather leave the hotel, I'm like, in a sense, if they've managed to go somewhere else, do something else, and they're in the hotel and staying in the complex, actually, isn't that good enough? If they're enjoying that, and that's partly what Mike was talking about, rather than that pressure to go out and achieve and see and do. Of course, for me, that would absolutely be the pressure I'd put on myself. Ronnie's going, are you going to learn to bake? I actually decided I was going to bake. And I think it was on a Christmas list I put for some baking trays. Not baking trays, you know, the ones with the holes in. See, I'm so descriptive. The cupcake trays. And I bought a cooling. I didn't buy, again, I bought that cooling thing. So I could make my cupcakes, put them on the cooling, what's it? It's been in my cupboard now, never used, ever. Because that was one of my great ideas. Thank you. I'm very cool. Do you mean like cool as a cat cool? Or chilly? Because actually I'm okay now. Put the radiator on before the tour and it's warmed up a bit now. And this is the great thing actually though. In all seriousness, Ronnie wants to learn to bake. And Wendy's saying, come over and I'll teach you. Well, actually, utilise who you know. It's not what you know, it's who you know. So, and that's what I was saying about a club, for example. There's absolutely nothing stopping. I have a friend who I met in Vietnam and Cambodia. We're on a group tour. I don't class it as going on my own because Mum and Mick came with me. So obviously I wasn't on my own. And I met a lady and she must be 78, 80, don't know, can't remember. No, she's older than 80. Oh, she's about 80, whatever. Anyway, we got on well. You'd have liked her. I remember as we were at the airport waiting to go home, she came to me outraged because she'd been charged $5 for a bottle of water. Or it might have been even more than that because $5. She was outraged. It was maybe $8. Outraged. This glass bottle of water that she'd been charged $8. What is the world coming to? And I looked at it and I went, that's vodka. Don't drink it now. Go and get a bottle of water. Anyway, what she's recently done is she lost her dog. She got a new puppy. Breed I cannot remember. The last one was a Scotty dog. And she's actually self-published a book, which is as if her dog was speaking. So it's all about his adventures. Wow. Don't say age isn't a barrier because it's not. The Great Leonie Bake Off. I'm not known for my love of cooking or indeed my excellence. I do make a very nice apple and banana crumble. Very nice, I'll have you know. Gregory said something which I think is exactly the point which I've been trying to make, which is, it's curious how you can feel unable to do things until you can muster up the effort, and when you do, it energises you. And that's exactly what I meant about procrastinating, which I can be quite good at. Actually doing something and then thinking, yes, great. I've done it. Positive. And that's actually because we feel better about ourselves. And for me, making the bed turns into this big thing because I have to vacuum the duvet cover because cats sleep on it. So it's making sure that the cats get out of the room, shut the door, vacuum the floor, vacuum the duvet, then turn this, then turn this. And Peachy, of course, whenever I have a closed door, she's on the other side of it trying to get in, getting the bedding from this room, and then she'll be like, hurrah, trying to trip over me, or me trying to trip over her. She's never tripped over me. So it's going round and round. So I make it into this massive thing in my head. And every time I go, it's not a massive thing. Stop being such a drama queen. But I still do it. And yes, of course, Mike used to be really good at procrastinating, but these days he keeps putting it off. And thank you, Mike. Thank you. Dawn says we're all supposed to have at least one good book inside us. Well, I'm not sure where. Maybe I don't need to lose weight. Maybe it's just a really big book. Julia puts a sheet on top of the bed, then I just clean that sheet, not all the sheets and covers. Yes, you can do that. Yes, that's what we did. Used to have a sheet under, but the trouble is, I'll be honest, the top of the duvet is far dirtier than anything else. Dirty paw prints, unfortunately. Fur. Sometimes twigs, leaves, dead teeny slugs, you name it. Oh, honestly, who wouldn't want to get on my bed? Don't overthink. Yeah, just do it. JFDI. I'm not saying the F, but just do it. Sometimes you need that virtual kick up the bottom. And the great thing about a virtual kick up the bottom is it doesn't hurt. You can't sue anyone, but it doesn't hurt. So who else is going to? We are actually nearing the end of the tour. Would you believe? 45 minutes. Frogs, actually, Mike. Just frog do it. It's the new thing with all the crazy cats now, the amphibian lovers. Yesterday, as you know, I went to London. Well, you do know if you join the tour, obviously, Casey. I decided that one of my things is I'm trying to manage my fear of heights better. What I did do is, the easiest way would have been to go from Waterloo to Westminster to the place that I went that I can't remember. Knightsbridge. No, not Knightsbridge. Westminster. Who knows? Now I'm confused. I didn't go from Westminster to Westminster anyway. And then I went, no, Jubilee Line, Westminster, that's Jubilee Line even. That's the one. No, let's go to Green Park. So we did that. Fine. That's fine. It's not a fact that that's helping me get over my fear of heights. What I'm trying to do is the fact that I know that too big. South Kensington, thank you, Wendy. I did want to say it sounds posh. So I thought I'm eliminating that, and that's fine. But then we were in the Natural History Museum, and we got in the lift to go up because we'd seen the dinosaurs. We'd seen something else that I don't remember, and no, so what we'd done is we'd gone to the Titanosaur exhibition, then we'd gone to see dinosaurs, and then I said, well, shall we go or shall we stay, do another one? I said, actually, my sister can't make a decision to save her life, which unfortunately is the way I'm heading. So I was like, okay, no, we're here, let's do something else. So we decided to go see Treasures. It was funnily enough, it's very difficult to find your way around the Natural History Museum. Literally, I think you could spend days. I asked so many people, oh, where'd you go? Where'd you go? Okay, green zone, this, whatever. Anyway, so suddenly it was like pointing upstairs. I'm like, well, that's strange. So there's a lift. So we get in the lift. And then as we get out, Natural History Museum, and you'll see from the photo in my group, there's a balcony around it that looks down onto this beautiful space. And it's high. And you will die if you fall off or jump off. So I'm in the lift, get out the lift, and I said, I can't do this. Need to get back in the lift. And of course, it's really annoying because you're like, no, you're bigger than this. You're not bigger than this. You're better than this. And then, of course, you're waiting for the lift. Oh, my God, I'm going to jump off. I'm going to jump off. Stop it. You're not going to jump off. Stop being so stupid. And then there's obviously, people in the lift, and you're like, oh, fool. And I got down to the bottom, and I was so annoyed with myself because I thought you'd told yourself that you're going to try and not be so scared, and yet you've let it all consume you. So what we did was, actually, no, I lie. This was actually stairs that we walked up. We walked up the stairs and went down in the lift. So then we went up. So Amy went up. She did a scouting expedition because she wanted to look over this kind of bridge, and also to find out whether or not her aunt would go manic to get to Treasures. And she said, look, she said, you come out, you see, and it's pretty much in. So I said, okay, then we'll do it. So we went up, and I got her to hold my hand because I'm a very big girl, and we went into Treasures, and I said, don't leave me. Embarrassed, but I did it. And that's about the point. I think part of it is actually trying and saying, I'm going to try and keep doing these. Gregory says the Science Museum has that effect on his head. Ah, shrunken heads. Wendy took her daughter to see the stuffed guy, the gorilla, in the Natural History Museum when she was 3. On the way back, she asked if she could have David stuffed. I'm assuming that didn't happen. Great one, Leslie. Ask for help when needed. Never be too afraid to ask for help. And I thought, as I said to my sister, as I was standing by, I said, the thing is, as we walked up again, and I said, the thing is, actually, if I can't trust my sister not to throw me over the edge, then who can I trust? And then I said, actually, I'm not entirely sure that's right. I said, you're in my will. So then actually, I held Amy's hand, because she's not in my will. I mean, it'll probably come to her at some stage, you know, but it's not immediate. So, you know, and this is the way my mind works. Yeah, I'm glad that David wasn't stuffed, because he could never have come down to London that time, could he? And that was a fantastic time. So any more resolutions, people? Because I've gone off track talking about Natural History Museum. Natural History Museum. I'm sure there was a point to it. Was great. If you ever come to London, do go and have a look. There's actually a programme about dinosaurs on later. Interesting last words. Good job I was broke by then. Yes. Not for Leslie. Leslie's not making any resolutions. Janie's doing goals. Football. Realistic. So what I want you to do, though, is I want you to think about if you do set your resolutions, follow the prick method. What I would like to do is thank everybody who has sent me a tip. Hopefully it's pinned to the chat. Streamlabs let me straight in. Michaela's going to get a passport because a very sad evening, not a sad evening, that's a very sad experience, is that Michaela went to the airport and found that she needed a passport to get to the UK. So Michaela will be here this year. Ashrith's is new job, certification and losing weights. I could lose weights, if you mean like muscle weights. I've got a couple of pink weights downstairs. They're about, I don't know how many kilograms they are. Maybe 0.002. I've never used them really. But they look great in the corner of the room. One day at a time. Wardrobe sorting. Spend all my money, no one will throw me off great heights. Well, to be fair, that's for my retirement. Which I obviously can't wait until. I need to do things now. I don't want my life to run away with me. I'm not sure. Run away from me? Run away with me? Not sure I could run away with my life. I'm glad you enjoyed the chat, Lethargy. Sorry I can't sing happy birthday to you this time. I think the main thing is to make the most of it. It's 2024. And I think if I set myself some targets, I've got more hope of achieving them than if I do absolutely nothing. One of those hula hoops with weights that are gathering dust. Hula hoops with weights. I mean, I know a hula hoop is a crisp and you're not talking about those kind of hula hoops. I will be leaving some money to various charities. Part of it will be working out. I mean, of course, it depends, because unfortunately, you could end up leaving nothing. But I like to think I'll be making a dent on the on cat neutering or lions or tigers or something somewhere. But I mean, that's not very cheery, is it? That's not that positive that we want to speak about. If you do like this video as well, please do like the YouTube video. It does help with the algorithms. And of course, hey Nat, if you're not already in my group, Leonie on Tour, bit of a spoiler alert. Spoiler elope, that's interesting. One of my resolutions is to make the group more varied. It does have lots of cat posts, and although cats is part of me, it's not all of me. And of course, the title of the group is Leonie on Tour. Sort of what I'd like to do is share more about other bits and bobs. And I'd like other people on the group to maybe share a bit more exciting stuff. Obviously, if it's about Kent or East Sussex, that's fabulous. Leslie said she would recommend the U3A, which is the University of the Third Age. So for those not in full-time work, it's a good way to meet new people and take on new hobbies. Absolutely. Sometimes, like I said, do things that scare you. So Julie, how does one join the group? Are you not already a member of Leonie on Tour, the Facebook group? No, Dawn, it won't be no more cat posts. It's perhaps just more of a balance. Because I am aware that some of my followers aren't actually that mad keen on cats. Oh, what hotel you'll hopefully stay in, Maidstone? There's quite a few, to be honest. Maidstone does have quite a few hotels. There's obviously the Premier Inns. You've got the Toilet Roll. You've got the Village. Depends, of course, if you want the pool. Just make sure I know the date. So I'm actually going to be around, Michaela. Well, Leslie says she's not a cat person but doesn't mind the cat posts. Well, I hope not, obviously, especially when they're of my peach or of my other fairy children. Well, my recipe, Janie, for my crumble is 5 ounces of margarine, 5 ounces of sugar, 10 ounces of flour, crumbly, bumbly, bumbly, blumbly, and then the apples from my own garden, which are in the freezer, chopped up, ready to throw in. Gregory said, I'm going to try to remember habits I developed last year, which I consider were important and that I want to make sure I don't lose. That's a really great idea. It's about perhaps continuing what you've already built on, and of course the next year continuing until you become this most amazing perfect person that doesn't exist. So it's about again, I think we'll end it with the quote from our Scottish writer Anne Halkett: I will not offend anyone. Maybe we should add, and if I do, it was probably their own fault. It's been absolutely wonderful to see you all. I hope you enjoyed it. It is now an hour. So do enjoy your bananas. I mean, do enjoy the rest of your evening. And I shall see you very soon. When I say very soon, I must admit I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing for my next tour, but I'm sure it'll be fabulous. See, there's my positivity for you. Take care, everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.